That's why I can't get on, so.
Okay, we're recording.
Okay, let's open the meeting for the proposed budget, the budget hearing. Anybody got anything to add to the budget, or you want to pass it the way it stands, or?
So we're going to go with what did we decide, 4%?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, do I get a motion?
Have we,
Oh, wait, I don't need that, do I? Not on this one.
have we had any concerns with people getting their tax stuff, and has anybody heard anything, or?
No.
No.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
I just had one person call in because he had missed the April meeting, the truth and taxation, which caused, because he didn't argue then his property value had gone up, and he did call to say that he wasn't happy about that and that the city line went up $69. So I don't think that that's probably enough to change a budget over 69, so.
I'm not, you're sharing your screen, but you're sharing all your tabs there, Lori.
Oops. All right, is that better?
Nope, I don't even see you, Lori.
I just see your home screen.
Okay.
I lost everybody. I can hear people.
Okay, I gotta figure out how to unshare now.
Yeah, because Lori, you come in the right-hand bottom of the screen of my phone.
There we go.
There you go.
There, now we're better. So anybody want to put any input in on the budget before we go on to the next?
Nope.
Okay, then could I,
When do we discuss the new assessment on our homes? Is that at this meeting, or should it have been done earlier? Or?
that's that one that should have been done back in April. Or May, when is it, Lori? May?
It was April.
By the assessment that's done by the county on our homes, right?
Remember when Levon Augustine was in here?
Right. So
That's when
I'm not sure.
the property value is set, and if you have if you want to argue that it's wrong, you need to talk to the county by that April meeting, because then once you guys voted that night, all the property values are set.
Oh, okay.
Now the only way to get that reduced would be go to tax court.
Got it. Okay.
So can I get a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion made and second to adjourn this budget meeting. Just show by your reactions.
I got Carrie and Rick,
Wayne
Wayne.
and Tom.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, now let's go into the city council meeting. Should we do the pledge of allegiance, or?
Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. You're welcome. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda? Just raise your hand. Wayne and Tom. All in favor? Just unanimous. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the November 12th meeting?
So moved.
Taya and Tom. All in favor, raise your hand. Opposed? Motion's carried. Old business, Richard.
I have three things I'd like to talk about a little bit. First of all, Carrie and I met with Mr. Ryan about his business in Goodhue. I think Reese, you might have some stuff to add on that too tonight. But he was trying to get some consensus from us on what we wanted to do on the street. As we mentioned, I think they had some pretty clear direction from the council before that if we put a road in, you know, we'd have to talk about assessments, and what he really doesn't think he can afford to do at this time. So he was gonna work with he gave us a couple of numbers which are confidential about what he thought he could afford to pay for the land and what he thought he could afford to pay for dirt work, and maybe Reese could bring up to date a little bit on that. So I also they also wanted me to contact, and I did, the Goodhue County to get a tax estimate on what the taxes generated by the buildings were, the proposed building. Now he's expanded again. Now he's up to almost 60,000 square feet. He was about 40 before. And Reese, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's about 60,000 square feet now. So the taxes are going to be significant. At this time, we just have an estimate from the county, but they're going to be right in that neighborhood. I think that it's going to end up being somewhere in the neighborhood about $100,000 a year. And Reese can probably discuss that when I'm done talking. So that's what's going on. And Carrie, did I miss anything on that about what we did?
Just that I talked with Stairs again also, and I told them that they had to deal with Kenny himself because that's the way they kind of wanted to do it. So
Yeah. The second project I've been spending some time on, pursuant to Carrie's direction, is that there's a party that wants to put a bakery in town, and he's having a little bit. I'm helping him work through the permitting process so that he and they understand what the bakery would be, basically more of a center or a central bakery, and then they would have some retail there, but not a whole lot. There wouldn't be any sit down stuff or soup or any of that kind of stuff. It would just be a bakery. So Carrie asked if I would work with him so we could help him facilitate the inspections and the plans and everything else in Goodhue. The final thing I have some more information on is that I again reached out to Nicole Miller again today, and she wanted me to write a letter about what the zoning is. And I told her that the use that they're thinking about, the zoning is okay. She says she's talking to her finance people this week yet. The other thing I followed up on is that about the house that's kind of looking kind of tough. I did reach out to an asbestos abatement company. They're going to give me some. What we have to do is, get a piece of the siding, send it in to make sure it is asbestos, and then they would come in and do the abatement. He said on an outside house, it's not as hard as it is if you're doing something inside. And I just asked him, what's the ballpark going to cost to get rid of that asbestos? And he said $3,000 to $4,000. And the reason I ran into that today is I was talking to Jason Fitzgerald about something else another client of mine had, and he brought up if we were going to tear it down. I told him I thought we would, but we had to get the asbestos thing taken care of. So I think once we get the asbestos code, I think we should maybe get that done. And if you want to go ahead, I mean, we're either take a couple quotes or do however you want to do it to tear it down. Did I miss anything else, Carrie, that we've been doing in the past? 10 days or so.
No, I think that was it. Just,
Does
we're
Tom
on
have
that.
his hand up?
Excuse me?
Pardon?
I think Tom has his hand up.
Oh,
No, I can't get rid of it. I gotta, oh, this stupid phone. Sorry.
That's fine.
so I'm hoping that we get all three of these things done, in the next, shortly. It'd be nice if we could. But Mr. Ryan is quite insistent that he wants to do this in Goodhue if he can make the numbers work, and we're doing our best to make the numbers work without giving away the farm, so to speak.
No, I think that's pretty much what we were talking about. Seems to me there was one other thing in there, but
And maybe Reese, could you maybe just talk a little bit about your involvement so the council can understand what the issues are with respect to the road and the access, et cetera?
Yeah, absolutely. So just to kind of, follow up on, what Dick was saying, he is looking at a little bit larger footprint to start off. So he's looking at a 340 by 175 building. So that puts him right at that, 59,500 square foot. He does still want to leave room for expansion. And I guess if it helps to illustrate, kind of what I've been working with him on is, originally he wanted to make as much room on the lot as he possibly could. So we tried to grade that hill out as far as we possibly could. And here, I'll actually share my screen. Nope, it looks like I'm not allowed. So either way.
Lori can let you share it.
Oh, that would be great.
Okay, well, talk me through it.
I'm not sure if the three little dots on.
I think that's what it is. If you go on his picture, there's 3 dots.
Okay,
Hit that.
all right. Allow, no.
Yep.
We can make a presenter.
Nope, I have mute, stop video, chat, rename, pin video, spotlight video, make host. Allow
Yes.
record, remove, or report. Sorry, Reese.
Well, I should have came out there because I know you can do it.
Should I make him host and then Reese, you'll have to make me host again?
Yep, that'd be just fine.
Oops, where did you go? I don't know where it went.
Go to the 3 dots by his name, by his picture. There, you should be able to do it now, Reese. There you go.
Perfect. All right. So this is, and I'll try to expand this here a little bit. So originally when we were looking at this, he was really looking at having his building, kind of tucked up in here. But, when we ran some earthwork numbers for him, it essentially, he's realizing that's a lot of material that gets generated with that. So what we did was, and what he asked us to do was say, hey, what is the absolute minimum that I could do with the earthwork and still get my building in there? So we looked at this, and so we tried to push it up close to where the future road would be. Now, the thought, to help, minimize some costs and, spread that out over a lot, other users, was to just stub in the road here to allow an access for his, facility. He could always do like a temporary rock access or something for a secondary connection, but right now we're showing an extension of about 200 feet, 210 feet of viola, but this essentially gets him a somewhat usable pad. I think he does not have a footprint yet or a building layout, so he may need to cut back into this hill a little bit further, but I mean, you look at it overall, and this is just kind of a cut fill exhibit. So you'll see the red is the a lot of cut area, and then the yellow, you're still in that 10 to 5, and then green and blue are the, you know, little bit of cut, and then the blue and purple colors are fill areas. So you're seeing there's still a fair amount of cut that happens with this, but you know, overall he ends up with an excess of about 27,000 square or cubic yards. So it's still a decent amount of material, but comparing that to what the original one was, I think that it's probably, you know, close to 10 times less than what that original number was, just as a frame of reference. So this is really what he was looking at of, okay, what can I do on my site, you know, as a bare bones type of thing. And I think ultimately he's going to want to try and expand potentially to the north here. And at that time he could, you know, cut more into this hill. But his kind of big question is, okay, where do I put this excess material? Now, some of that could get used to be, you know, build up the road. Where that is, you know, some of this area on the southwest piece of the site is going to need to get built up if that's going to be usable. But the other thing is, you know, this south side is going to need a fair amount of material at some point if that wants to get developed. So that would be kind of the natural area that I would foresee putting that material, if that's an option.
He was talking about up
So that's-
on top making storage area, a pad up there to store some of his equipment on to keep it out of the way. I mean, up on top up there.
Oh, up here,
Yep.
up kind of by that knob. And that would be a steep hill for him to really use. I'm not sure if that'll be a great spot for him, but I think he could probably use this area to the west of the building right away if he really wanted. I mean, it looks like a lot of contours, but it's not that steep that he couldn't, you know, flatten it out a little bit and make it usable.
Anybody have any questions on that?
Nope.
Wayne?
No, that looks good.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thanks, Reese.
No problem.
Okay, Carrie,
Yes.
how many acres was Ryan's thinking of probably buying from Stairs? We talking 15 to 20 acres?
Yep. I think he was at 20, wasn't he, Reese?
Yeah, I think his initial ask was 18, but I think, yeah, you're right. I think it was closer to 20 by the time it penciled out.
Mm-hmm. That's another reason why he told me him and Mike and them should work it out together. Maybe he'd get a better deal with him than we would anyway, so.
Right, right. Okay, thank you.
You bet. You got any other updates then, Reese, or?
Yeah, I guess kind of keeping on that Viola Lane. I think Fitzgerald did get out there and do some of that grading along the roadway. So he still does have some punch list items to get through, but some of that will need to come in the spring as it's not really good planting weather right now for some of the trees that need to go along the property lines. So at least some of the grading's done, but still some work to do out there. We did have another sanitary district meeting a couple weeks ago. It really didn't cover a whole lot new. Now, that being said, they are going to be having a public hearing, and they're really wanting us to invite the councils, invite the public. They're going to public notice this, and that will be held February 3rd at 6 o'clock. It'll be a virtual kind of, think of it as an informational session to where I believe it was, I can't remember if it was Lombroda's engineer or Pine Island's engineer was going to be doing some of the presenting on that. Now, there is a memo that the guy's name is Craig Britton. He had written this memo and I had attached that to my engineering memo. It's basically just an overview of what's been going on and what's been discussed, and some of the general benefits that they see for consolidating some of these, WIT treatment facilities into one central location. So that's really the discussion, and the hope for that is to just get everyone in the same room and hearing the same information. So that'll be a good opportunity for folks to ask questions. If there's anything that comes up during it, this is kind of the forum to really determine if this thing moves forward.
Okay.
And
That's,
so-
you're gonna send out a memo too for that?
Yes. Yep. So once there is, I believe, I forget who is hosting that exactly, but once that's set, I'll get that link to the group and we'll make sure everybody's on board here.
Okay.
And then the last update that I had was pavement management plan. I did have Anthony stop out. I believe that was last week for the most part. He got through most of town, so I think he's got most of that updated. So we'll be updating that report here in the next month or so and get that squared away for future pavement maintenance.
Yeah, because I seen him in town, but I really took a look at it with Steve and that, and there's a lot of cracking going on in even the newer streets that we gotta keep ahead of it before it gets away from us again. So anybody else got anything you want to mention to them?
Oh.
Okay,
I
thank
don't.
you. We'll go to cancellation agreement contract with Red Cedar Consulting. Lori?
Reese, you want to switch me back to host? You guys should all have in your packet a letter written by Isaac Kaufman. Did you all get a chance to read that? Can you see it?
No, you got your screen on again. I gotta see all your tabs.
Okay, so on mine, I see Red Cedar Consulting.
What I see is one agenda, 2 is 28 minutes.
Okay, so this is weird. How do I make it so you guys can all see what I'm sharing?
Click on where your mouse is right now. Double click it. Nope, didn't work.
No?
Didn't
Huh.
work.
So on my computer, I can see the document.
Oh, sure glad one of us can.
Interesting.
Sometimes, Lori, when you go to share your screen, it'll give you multiple options down at the bottom.
How about at the top? More. All right, well, I will have to figure that out for the next meeting. So let's just,
I mean, it was in our packet too.
Yeah, it was in your packet. You all had it emailed or you stopped to get a hard copy?
I've got it. I see it.
Yep. It's, looks like that. So Isaac would handle the items, if you remember, from the Department of Human Rights. They had written a letter and there were a few things that we needed to do. There were actually several pages, but Julie is able to do a lot of the things and we can do some of them ourselves. But one was developing and conducting anti-discrimination training, and then a workplace civility and bystander training, and a climate survey, and also revising our performance reviews, and some help with our personnel policy. And he would charge a flat fee of $5,000.
Is that what you and I talked about here?
Yes.
Little bit? Yes.
Julie recommends him. Isaac was an attorney for, oh gosh, I think it was the police union or something, the Minneapolis one. I could be wrong on that, but now he is a consultant. And Julie does think this is a fair price. So the training, he would start in January and it would all be done remotely.
Just going to a Zoom meeting.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep. Yeah, because Lori and I talked about this and I thought I was getting ready to sign an agreement, but we had to bring it to the council first. Didn't we?
Yep, Isaac is waiting to hear from us before he starts organizing our classes. It's something we have to do, and the clock started ticking already a month ago. So we have about 2 more months to get this done.
Do we need a motion then to hire these people, or?
Yep, I think so.
Yes.
Well, I would make a motion that we hire Red Cedar Consulting to give us the training we need for, what do we call it?
Just anti-discrimination training.
For the anti-discrimination training.
I'll
So we're
second
gonna-
that.
Rick seconded. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Is, who's speaking for Tammy? Is that you, Dick?
Well, I can talk about this, but Dick probably read it as well.
Well, Dick and I talked about it, I know that. You want to talk about it, Dick, please?
Yeah, we currently have two open tax increment district. One is with the Ag Partners projects at the time when they built the feed mill down there. And the second one is a housing district. With respect to it costs, we have to file, as long as the districts are still open, we have to pay to have them reports done and all that kind of stuff each year. Apparently with respect to the Ag Partners one, we still have some money left to spend there, around $13,300. And she got on us a little bit because apparently we reported that we spent $700 in a farmer's market or something like we weren't supposed to spend. I don't know. So I'm sure we'll get that thing resolved. So it looks like we have some money that she wants us to spend on that one. On the other one, the 1-4, that was one of the first housing redevelopment districts we did. That currently has a fund balance of $15,805, and it costs us $1,000 a year just to do the report. So what she's recommending we do, we go ahead and close that particular TIF out, and then what we do, we pay that $15,000 back to the county, but we get 40% of that back. So and that way that tax increment district is all done. I think, is that what your understanding is too, Lori?
Yes.
So I would recommend that maybe we got to find a use for TIF 1-3, but for 1-4, somebody needs to make a motion to pay that back to the county so we can go ahead and close that one out.
You want to make a motion, raise your hand.
No.
Taya? Rick seconded. Any more discussion on it? All in favor, say aye, or raise your hand. Opposed? Motion's carried. So we're gonna keep the 13,000 one though. Huh?
Well, we may, if we got to find a use for it. So what, I think we gotta talk to her, or Lori, I can talk to her and see what it would be an approved use for that money.
So
Can I ask a question on that?
You're the boss, you can ask it anyone ask.
Well, could that money be used, isn't the depot in on that same tax increment?
It is, but we use that's actually where they took that money for the acquisition of the building. So I don't know, I assume it could be used for other purposes there, but I don't want to give a recommendation until we talk to her.
Yeah, no, but I was just wondering on that,
Yeah.
so.
If you read it, it says the city spent tax increment in 2018 on land acquisition of redevelopment property. That's the depot. And to pay a minute. So since 2018, that's the only thing we really spent any money on.
Okay. Well, it's good to know that, but we gotta just find out from her, Tammy, then
What?
if we could use some money on that.
Yes.
Anybody else got anything they want to add into that? Okay. Levy motion. We were looking at 4%. Anybody got, want to say about it or make a motion to approve it or?
Say that again?
The levy motion for the budget? Does anybody want to bring anything up on it or want to make a motion to pass it?
I will make a motion to accept the 4%.
Second.
Okay. Tom, second it?
Yep.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye or raise your hand. Opposed? Motion's carried. Building permit for a new house up there. I've talked to him. I heard he changed his mind on our lot again, so. He's now looking at Block 4, Lot 2. Could be. You know where Randy Lexfold lives?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not the next one, it's the middle one on that block. And he wants to put a slab on grade, that's why he's been changing it. Trying to figure out where's the least amount of dirt movement is on it. But what he's really looking for is his porch on the back end of it. He's looking for a 4-foot variance to put his house because he's within that 35 feet of his backyard, but he's only looking for 4 feet, so.
that's on the deck, right?
Yep,
So is that right? Carrie, is that right next to Evan Goff's then?
Yeah.
no, it's on next block over to the north.
Oh, okay, like Matt Gadian's lot, by Matt.
No, across the street from Matt, though. I think I got, can you share that? Because I sent a printout.
Yeah, I haven't been very good at sharing though. I
Let's
haven't
try it
figured
one
out
more
how to do that.
time.
All right. Can you see it?
No,
Well, I can see it.
So Carrie, in the map I'm looking at, Randy Lexfold's on the corner.
yeah, then there's gonna be a empty lot, and then it's gonna be his lot, then it's the corner lot.
Yeah. Well,
He's at that second lot, the middle lot.
that's where's Evan Goff at? He's right next to Randy Lexfold then, huh?
No, Evan Goff's next to the Josh.
Oh, there you go. I got the right map. Oh, you're right. I'm in the wrong block. Okay. Yep.
He wants to be able to, but he's looking for an easement for the back porch or deck, wherever it is, or?
Now, this is in the latest development area, correct? Or
Yep.
latest lot?
Yep.
Will it cause any problems with the neighbors at all, or look out of place, does anybody think, or?
I've looked at it about 4 times. I don't think anybody's ever gonna notice it.
Well, can I ask
And
a
there's,
question?
there's the only one close to them would be, up on that corner. Nicole, Mattis's, Horseman, Luke Horseman. And that'd be a ways away yet too. There's quite a bit of room between the two.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
So do we, I mean, if he wants the lot, he can have the lot, correct? And then we would, once we get the plans, that is when we would give him the,
he is looking, he's got the plans right here, but Mike Lodemeyer's working with him. And he wants, before he, if he can't get this easement, he's not gonna buy a lot. Basically is what it is.
Gary, let's get our terms straight. Not an easement. He wants a
Or
variance.
variance, I mean, I'm sorry.
I
Variance.
just want to make sure the record is clear.
Yeah, it's my fault. Variance,
How much of a variance does he need?
4 feet.
So you're telling me the back setback is supposed to be 35 feet, and he wants to go to 31 feet. Is that correct?
Yeah, he wants to put a 14 by 14 foot on.
So the front one, that's just so everybody remembers, we have a 30-foot set off from the front, okay? And the back is 35.
Right.
So that's still, I don't know. So you're talking about going from 35 down to 31 as far as the footprint, including his deck. Is that correct?
Yeah, the only thing that'd be extending out would be the deck.
Yeah. I just want to make sure everybody understood that.
And that, the deck would actually be closer to Randy Lexfeld's side, the east side. I'm looking at it right in front of me. I wish you could.
You can walk out here, Carrie, if you put your mask on.
Well, I'm just gonna.
Gary, it should be in everybody's packet, right?
It is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
got it. It looks like this.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, you guys have it.
Yep.
So on this drawing, Carrie, just to try and get to the bottom of this, is the deck the 14 by 14? It's in the
Yes.
northwest corner of the drawing?
Yep.
Okay.
So I guess I think if it doesn't cause the city any problems, and if it's not gonna be too noticeable, or be of any problem with the neighbors, I don't have any problem with it.
Yeah, I told him he'd have to get permission from the neighbors, but the lot he's taken, the city owns everything around it. I mean, that's one thing about it, so. So if you're gonna give it to him, can I get a motion?
So
I'll
moved.
make a motion to give him his variance.
Okay, Wayne and Tom.
Carrie, can I add one more thing though?
Yep.
We really want to have a regular plot plan that exactly shows exactly where it is in the lot to avoid any confusion.
Yeah, no,
So
he's got to bring the regular plans in to get them
a
approved.
regular plot plan saying, here we are, we're so far away from this side, so far away from this side, so far
Yep.
right in front. Yeah, just because then we don't have to guess about it later.
No, and I told him that. I said, we approved the permit or the house plans to go to the county. It has to be brought in here and everything has to be exact on setbacks and everything, so. And he was okay with that. It was just that this deck was gonna get a little you know, out of the way farther. All in favor, say aye, or raise your hand, I mean.
Are we gonna have Steve make sure and check that this is being done properly too?
Yes, well, he's doing that now, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
that's what I
doing it,
thought, but I just,
yeah, he's doing it for all of them.
okay, you know, just so we don't have anything funny happen.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying there. Because he asked me about it and I said, no, it's 30 feet from your pin. Because he thought it was gonna be 30 feet from the sidewalk and I said, no, 30 foot from your pin. That's where this came up. And he said he had, measuring it out, he said he'd have plenty of room on both sides, so. Like the garage side, he was gonna have like 10 feet instead of the 6, and then on the bedroom side, he's got like 20 feet there, so.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, but I told him he had to bring everything in and show us before we'd accept anything anyway. So, that's carried. Renew the tobacco license for the Corner Bar, Dars Pub, and the Country Station. And with the COVID and that, like we did with the bars, you want to waive that $30 for the license?
I think we should, Kerry.
You want to make a motion to that, Rick?
I will make a motion that we waive the $30 for the Corner Bar, Darts Pub, and the Country Station, and then give them the tobacco license.
Okay, Taya seconded. All in favor, say aye, or raise your hand. That's gonna take a while for me to get used to that too, so bear with me, please. Okay, the next one, mayor concerns. I talked to Taya this morning about it, but with the COVID going around and everything in here, we gotta be proactive. And I talked to Steve, I talked to Josh, I talked to everybody around. We're closing the south half of the building off so they don't come in here to Lori, because I need Lori in here bad. So that the cops and Steve and Lincoln, whoever is out there, they're gonna stay out there. That door's gonna be closed, so they're not coming in here. Kyle has to be in here, but he's gonna be in his own room. And I said, if he's in there, he can keep his door shut or whatever. They share the printer, so I said, masks will be worn at all times in here, you know, if anybody's in here at all. Because we just gotta try curbing it, and we gotta lead by example, so. If anybody has any questions, I'm more than happy to sit here and answer them for you, but I hope you understand when you come in here, that's the reason why. And then I told Lori that we'll keep the door locked and they can make appointments only. Then we'll to come in. Because I don't need anybody in here catching anything for people not wearing masks or not knowing they have it or anything else, you know. And it's not picking on anybody, it's just to get it done right, so. If anybody has any questions on it, or?
I'm good, no problem.
I'm fine.
Okay,
Perfect.
Great.
and then, yeah, Dick, were we gonna, do you guys want Dick and I to get that house tore down? Taya said yes.
Sure.
I think it'd be a great idea.
Okay, well,
It is definitely an eyesore.
we'll see what we can do to get it down then, because I'd like to see it down before winter also. I mean, before it gets super cold, but
Say, Carrie, can I add one thing in that regard?
yes.
Can we, you know, we got those 2 trailer homes out of there, but there's still that frame. So last time I was out to Goodhue on Saturday, that frame is still sitting there. Can't we get rid of that?
I'll talk to Nori about it. I thought it was sold, but
Well, I know, but it's been sitting there. It just kind of, we should really, you know, it looks good except for that. If we could get that out of there, that'd be kind of nice, wouldn't it?
yeah, I'll talk to Nori about it and get it out of there. I thought he was going to, the way it sounded, but. Any council concerns? Kaya? Okay.
Not right now.
I could bring up one thing, I guess. It's still pretty messy along the Lodemeyer lumber buildings there. A lot of miscellaneous junk just laying on the ground. But they're along the building, but it's messy, I guess, is what I would say. And I don't know if they couldn't do a better job of straightening and cleaning a bunch of that up.
Yeah, we could bring it up. Thank you.
That was the only thing I had.
Okey doke, yeah. I went down recently, did a good job on that backfilling down there by Ag Partners, so. Makes it look 100% better than what it did. So can I get a motion in to pay the bills?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Rick and Taya, I guess. All in favor, say aye, or raise your hand. Opposed? Motion is carried. Can I get a motion to adjourn the council meeting? Taya,
Second.
Tom? All in favor, say aye,
Aye.
or raise your hand, but Jesus. This is gonna take me a long time. Opposed? That motion is carried. Now we'll go into the EDA meeting. Do we have, well, we got some other business because I signed a closing agreement the other day with Dick. Lori, you gotta sign it yet.
I got it.
You already did.
Then I talked to Wayne about them twin home lots. And as soon as they get addressed, and now we can put them on MLS. That's what's been taking so long on that. And then there's another, well, there's gonna be two other lots, I guess, that we're looking at purchase agreements on before too long, so. That's coming along pretty good, really. That's what I have on it. Dick, you have anything else, or? You're muting, buddy.
The one you signed this week was Andy Mann, so we'll get the money for that one tomorrow.
Okay. So can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the October 28th meeting? Raise your hand. Wayne and Tom. All in favor, raise your hand. Okay. We got a report from the depot committee, Kathy or Artie, or?
I thought we'd let Donna talk. Donna, do you want to talk?
You're muted, Donna.
You're muted, Donna.
Sorry about that. Yes, I can get it started for you ladies. First of all, for the meeting, I have been working with a new entrepreneur that is looking to start a business in Goodhue. At this point, we're still at the very early stages where it's most time consuming. So hopefully by the end of January, we can have a little more information for you on that. And one of the other things I'm working on that's taking some time is the Railroad Depot Task Force with artists Carolyn and Kathy. And we had a really nice meeting, and we've been doing some back and forth emails here recently. And at the last meeting, we had discussed that that I would put the property for the depot on sale on Lois 1 or Location 1. It's part of the deed programs. And I got that started, got quite a bit into it, and then I sent some information that I need from Steve Voth. And shortly thereafter, meeting with the task force group, they chose that they would like to see us wait and not put this on the site until we're more sure that everyone in the community or in the nearby rural routes are aware that the property is for sale for a commercial business, hoping that someone local will purchase it. Or on the other hand, we talked about possibly maybe this could remain being used for the community. If we can get volunteers in the community that would be interested in fixing up the outside, whether that's for community use or for to get it saleable, give it some curb appeal. If we could pull this off with donations and volunteer labor. So in the meantime, the task force had thought that probably we should lean towards putting out a survey to the community. And they created a community survey with, I believe it has 3 questions on it. And was it in your packet, I believe?
Yeah, it's at the end.
Okay. So we would need approval from the EDA board, city council. If you agree to that, or if you have any, if you agree to us sending that survey out, A. B, if you agree to the wording or what it says in there in the questions, or if you have any edits or changes to that. Another part is we would like to send it out with the January water bill, and then have the respondents put that in with their water bill payment to send it back to the city. We're also looking at ways to, how can we reach the rural route? To my understanding, there's 3 rural routes in Goodhue that we could possibly use a mailing list. My knowledge on this from my past experiences in my career, I was a Instaprint's manager of a store in Rochester for quite some years. And we used to sell mailing lists, or people would pay a fee to use our bulk permit. I would assume the city of Goodhue has a bulk permit number, Lori? No? Oh.
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh, okay. So years ago, you were able to go, or people were able to, you know, like some of the banks in Rochester, some of those larger places, they would send out a monthly newsletter. And what you could do is you could pay a fee. It was never that much to use someone else's bulk permit to put on that. And what we could do to get this out that aren't, for those folks that don't live in the city, that don't receive a water bill, how do we reach out to them? Other than city Facebook, possibly directing them from the city Facebook and having them direct them to go to a link on the website and they could fill it out. They can do it confidential or not. We're also looking for volunteers to help us get this project off the ground. Any
Donna,
thoughts?
I know when I was on the fire department and we sent our mailings out, we went through the Goodhue County GIS system, and Wayne Betcher actually got us the addresses.
Okay.
So does that mean the mailing permit then too, or no?
No, just the addresses.
Okay.
The school used to have a bulk mailing permit. I don't know if they'd allow us to, allow this group to do that. It'd be worth a shot to ask.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yep.
Well, I think if I got to remember how we did it, because I thought the fire department did too, but if you're mailing to a certain area, then you got a bulk discount. If you're mailing all to Sam Heck all over, then you don't.
You have to have so many of one zip code or something.
Yeah, and we had to sort it.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
rural 2, 3, or whatever.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And we can do it as a.
What we did at school when I did the mailings is I don't know, it didn't cost a whole lot back then, a year for that bulk mailing. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kathy, but
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
and we get a number. I'd call the
Yep.
post office and go, how many are in rural route 1, how many rural route 2, how many rural route 3. I'd count that out and bring it down there and they would put it in. Now it was, if there did have a different zip code, then we had to put actual stamps on those.
Yes, right, right.
But if you just want to hit the, 55027 zip code, I think you generate quite a bit of,
Good
just through
territory.
that.
Yeah, I think too, if we just stick in our zip code and we add those numbers, then we just do postal customer and then to as many numbers as each rural route, and we could accomplish it that way. Yeah. Yeah. Would work.
Dick, yes.
And then maybe just to, when you send out the form, just maybe we should add a line on there for their email address. So we can get a nice database put together, and then it doesn't cost anything to notify people or get them on board.
Yeah, we actually added that, Dick, yesterday,
Oh, yeah.
but we had already sent it to Lori. So we're like, okay, we'll just let it go. So we added the email and a contact that you could put comments on the back and one other little thing. So we already have our form tweaked. We just didn't want to ask Lori to print them all again. Or email them out. So yes.
Diane?
I do have I just need to bring it up here just a sec. I have an issue with the wording. The city is willing to keep ownership, but does not have the funds.
Yes. Yeah, we did talk about that too. After it was sent to Lori, Donna and I talked about that. And I know that, some of the council just wanted it clear that they weren't going to use taxpayer dollars. So we can change that. It just seemed like maybe it got the same message across, but it was softer. So, but yeah, we can just,
or even just, that, the city council wants to see this go through. I mean, I don't even know if you have to say anything about funds in it.
Right. Yeah. Maybe not.
If you had to make the city of Goodhue, you'd like to just see a committee and ownership to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Something on that order,
Yep. Why don't you put the wordage that you guys want in there and just change it on the form? That's perfect. Yep.
I'll leave that up to you, Taya.
Okay. Do you want to run, should I run that past you three though?
Yeah.
Through Kathy and Artie and Carolyn?
Sure. Hey, I will email you the Word document. Ty, you put your words in and then send it back, and then I'll send it to Artie and Donna and Carolyn. How's that sound?
That sounds great. All right.
All right. Perfect.
So the EDA board, the city council is approving that we can send this survey out with
Well, I'm
changes.
gonna ask for a motion right now on it.
Okay, with changes if Taya or Lori or Taya and Lori
Yep.
gets to view it. Okay.
Can I get a motion to approval to send this out with amendments that you're gonna make before it gets sent? Taya's made the motion. Rick, second. Any discussion on it? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion's carried.
I want to thank you guys for working on that too.
Yeah,
We will just see how it goes. I think our goal is that from the survey, we would get a feeling from the community as far as their support and then maybe their financial support. We get the feeling that people are willing to donate and, come up with other fundraiser thing. I think we'd like a task force of about 9 people, to really kind of divvy the work and get the creative ideas and, maybe a cross section of age groups and that kind of thing. So we thought, well, the survey is our first start to see if we can generate that enthusiasm and get some people.
The other thing we discussed too was, if you recall, we kind of wanted to all year want to write a grant application to the Minnesota Historical and Cultural Heritage Grants for an evaluation to pay for those engineers and whomever to come down and evaluate the depot, whether it could be moved or whether it's worth restoring or whatever. And even if they say it's not, we can still as a community move forward and do what we think is best for it. In the meantime, the next one is like the first or January 10th or something like that. And then the next one is April 10th or whatever that Friday may be. So we still have a little time, but as a task force, we kind of thought maybe we'd wait and see how the survey goes. Also, we discussed possibly having some local contractors come in and take a look at it to see what their views are, because estimates are free, right? And if they feel we should move forward, then to use my CEDA hours to write that grant application if contractors or anyone else is thinking, no, let's not do that. Or if the community, the volunteers or the responses we receive from the survey all come back that they all say like, oh, we would really like the city to keep this. What kind of grants can we have? What kind of volunteer hours? We're also hoping maybe some contractors would donate their labor time, whether it's electrical or shrubs or whatever it may be. Just kind of feeling it out this time to get started with the grant. Oh, another thing we discussed too was possibly so the community gets a better visual of what the depot is. I think giving them the history created quite some excitement in the community that this was the very first building built in 1889, and it was the first building that started in the community. And where was I going with that? It's been a long day. Oh, we talked about possibly, again, I lost my train of thought.
He's the only one then, huh?
I guess
I was gonna,
what were we
Everybody's
talking
aware
about?
that,
well, you were
not
thinking,
everybody's aware that that's where Goodhue started, right on that spot. And we're just lucky enough to have a building still standing. So wouldn't it be important to preserve it, even if it is just what it is and you get to go in and look, we clean it up, take the siding off, do something with the overhead door. So it looks more like the depot, but I think a lot of people just think it's a building there on a vacant lot and they don't realize really what it is and that it was the beginning, so.
Right, oh, that's the direction I was going. The task force thought possibly we could do an open house sometime, and maybe that would even be during the Volksfest. If volunteers and if the city council is willing to allow volunteers or residents to go in there and clean it up. Of course, you want to get the valuable historic pieces out of there before you had the open house, but so people can really see what's in there, or even the task force, once we find out who those people are, they're going to need a visual to see what is in there and what can we do to create some excitement. Do we have volunteers that would like to get together before the Volksfest or before an open house to go in there and see what we can do to clean it up and make it more presentable to get people excited about it, even more so than what they are with the history of it. That's what I meant to say.
so Donna, when did you say that date was for in January?
Yeah, it's like January 10th or something like that. I think we're gonna have to wait until April.
Yeah, the 10th's a Sunday.
Oh, is it? I'll check my calendar here.
That's what I was looking here to.
January 8th is a Friday.
Okay. Yep.
And then the next round is April 9th on that Friday.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you ladies and everybody for doing this. I wanted to see it stay, but it just, like I say, we've got things that we had to look at. But as long as we have somebody that's willing to step up for it, I'm really happy to thank you people for doing it.
Well, you can thank us now, thank us later if we really actually get something done. But, the idea is to start and just see, what kind of, we're going to need some cash. We know that, even to do the minimal things. So we just hope we can find some avenues to get some money to at least get started and get the outside to look, more like the original. So maybe some signage,
Well, I was just going to say, maybe you could talk to a local club around for a service project.
There you
go.
Maybe in the spring, life will start to return to normal, and then we can get out and beg all kinds of people, Gary. We'll hope.
Yeah. But I was just thinking, it'd be a good service project for the Lions.
Yeah.
It would.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
You've got cleaners and carpenters and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
We've even thought of, we talked about having like memorials, possibly someone wants to do like selling pavers or putting names on some type of board on the interior, or there's a lot of different ways that we could work on it together as a community. And the other thing is working on it as a community and having these volunteers is a benefit to us when we do want to find some grants, because that's a big thing for many of those organizations that offer that grant funding, is that the community is supportive and putting some skin in the game with their own labor and support. So it's all a good thing. Looking
No,
forward.
Great.
I wish the best for you because I really like to see it done, you know.
Yeah, us too.
Thank
So
you.
anybody else got anything to say on that yet, or? Okay, we'll move on to Donna.
Oh, that was everything I had.
Well, that's good then. Yeah, just keep us informed, and then could you send one of them copies of that letter to me before it goes out so I can see it? Please?
Sure.
The survey, you mean? Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I'll send it to Ty, and that Ty, text me your email. I don't know if I have your other, do you have a Gmail or something? Text me your email account, and then I'll send you the document. And then once you spin yours, I'll send it to you, Carrie. So,
Oh, sounds great.
yeah.
How can we do this as far as, and I don't think it's going to cost that much money, without having to wait until the end of January? Lori, what's the date we need to have this survey to you to put it in the water bill?
The 1st.
January 1st?
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
Yep.
That'll be fine. Yep.
That's
And-
pretty quick.
And Lori,
It'll actually probably go out January 4th.
do we need to get you the stack of copies, or do we just need to get you the document and you make the copies? How does that work?
I can make the copies here.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Yep, that sounds good. That sounds doable.
So are we going to wait and send those out to the rural routes at the same time the water bill goes out?
Well, if we can figure out the logistics for getting the 3 route numbers and the postal customer and.
I'll help you do that.
Okay, perfect.
Do it.
Yeah.
We used to do the political campaigns. It ain't that hard. It's not that hard. I'll help you do that. If the council's okay with me helping them do it free of charge, I'd like to do that if that's okay.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
Yep, you got it, Dick.
Okay.
And then along with the email, I think the other thing I added later yesterday was putting a deadline like February 1st, because otherwise they sit on your kitchen table and then pretty soon you forgot you even got it. So I think we'll put a February 1st deadline to return to the city clerk's office. And so for the people on the rural routes, they can either mail it to the city or they could drop it through the slot. Would that work okay too? If they come to town, just drop it in the city clerk's slot? Okay, perfect. All right.
Okay, do we have anything else for the EDA? Could I get a motion to adjourn? Taya and Rick? All in favor, raise your hand. Opposed? Come on, Tom, you really don't want to quit yet, or what?
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank you, committee members, and Melissa for everything you've done this year. Reese, I mean, even though we get in arguments once in a while. I want to thank everybody for everything they've done. So, thank you.
I'd like to thank Rick and Tom for their service on the council also. I appreciate your input and comments, and it's been fun. Thanks.
And it's
Thank you.
been a very good council to work with.
Good goes for me too. You guys have been great to work with, and really appreciated you being on the council. It's been a really good thing.
It was a lot of fun working with you guys too.
Yeah, good group. Good group. Really
Yeah,
good.
thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, Merry
Yeah,
Christmas.
you
Be
too.
safe. Thank you.
Gonna be
Merry
a quiet
Christmas.
one.
It had to be quiet for everybody, so
It'll be a quiet one.
I just want to have everybody stay safe and stay healthy.
Yep.
Thank you. You too. Likewise.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, thank you. Merry Christmas.
Christmas, everybody.